I have never been this close to the Blessed Mother. I feel she's looking over my shoulder this evening. We have a devotional at the end of the liturgy inviting our first communion children back to honor Mary by bringing forth flowers and singing a song. So the best is yet to come. Can't go wrong with kids. The scripture readings as we come next Thursday is Ascension Thursday. They're all about Jesus preparing to leave the disciples. Well, how do you think I'm hearing this gospel and these stories, kind of in a similar light, etc.? I want to say to you that it is not my style to be modeling about this and to drag you through. I know the emotions around a transfer of a pastor are, this is tough stuff. It's not for the faint-hearted, let's be clear. On the other hand, it is not my style, nor would I want you to be, I don't even know how to tell you this, but this is my vocation. I think we have to understand, you're called to your vocation as the laity. When I said yes, at the day of my ordination, I said yes to this. Go where you are sent. He told me to come here. And by the way, at the pastoral council evening the other night, this is bittersweet. There's sadness, but there's humor in the middle of this too. The pastoral council the other night, I was one of our members who will go unmentioned to keep that person safe, said, you know, when you were coming here, I have relatives in Greensburg. So I got in touch with the relatives and I said, who is this Gaston? And the person who I know, and when I run into this person, will have another moment of truth before I die, said, well, he's kind of imperious. Imperious. I had to go look that up. Imperious, like imperial, emperor. And he said, well, and then she said, well, then you came and then you walked down the aisle and you sat in your chair and you sat there and you did it. My idiosyncrasies. It looked kind of imperious. We chuckled at this. All of this kind of stuff is in it. When priests are transferred, before it comes, everybody's kind of like, well, what's coming? And everybody says, you know the devil you have, you don't know the devil you're going to get. That's on the part of the priest going to the parish. It's also on the part of the parishioner saying, well, we know the devil we had, now who are they going to send us? It is in the Catholic system, this is what we go through, for better or for worse. And with all due respect, it is happy or sad, depending on whether you love or don't love who's coming or going. Let's face it. I've gotten some fairly good press so far. Those who are kind of chuckling that I'm leaving town aren't coming to tell me they're thrilled I'm leaving. But there are a few of those in the mix too. We don't respond to everybody in the same way, and it's very hard. They say when a new person comes in to town, it's like a streetcar. Some get on and some get off. Whatever. But I must say to you, I don't want to be modeling about this, but this is a two-way street. Your gratitude expressed to me, I have to reflect back to you, and I mean this sincerely. I would never have anticipated the wonderful experience of being your pastor for really a very long time, and I hope I keep the record. Well, you may not, depending on Father Ken, but 16 and a half years. I thought it was 15 and a half. I lost a year. 16 and a half. So this is long in the way we do things in our diocese. And our numbers continue to shrink, and there was a need for a change. I hope you will understand that in the bigger picture. While we have to say goodbye, but goodbye is like, see you later. We end things, but truly we don't end it because we carry each other with us wherever we go. We are cumulatively who we are for all of the people of our lives. everything I practiced on you, I'm going to try there. You know that. So yeah, you were some of the guinea pigs for some of this, and not really, but that's kind of the way it is. I have to tell you, the hand of God is in this stuff in such a strange way that you cannot predict. I got a copy of the Mother of Sorrows pictorial directory this last week. I went over for my first visit. And I have they gave me 2 copies, so I can, one for each eye. So I started going through the book. I don't know any, and then I have the St. Margaret Mary's book on my desk. I know every face, just about, not always the name recognition. I recognize every face in the St. Margaret Mary book. I don't recognize any faces in the Mother of Sorrows book. I said, this is going to be interesting. And I said, well, no, I do know one couple over there from the past. And I was thinking about them this week. And I have to tell, I'll tell them over there the same story eventually. I knew her from when I was the chaplain at Seton Hill, and her aunt was a Sister of Charity, Sister Miriam Grace Solomon, who was a chemistry professor and was retired when I got there in the 70s. And we became friends, et cetera, et cetera. She was quite a character. She sat in the pews and corrected my grammar and syntax for my homilies. They had all those PhD nuns in the pews. It was a finishing school, believe me. A lot of interesting experiences. Anyway, I was thinking about her. I was thinking about them. And I'm going through some books, and a book fell off the table. I picked it up, and something fell out. Wasn't it a letter from Sister Miriam Grace Solomon, who died 30 years ago? I said, what is this? So I sent it to her niece, and with the note that I have to send this to you, and I will be waiting. You better come and say hello to me quick, because I don't know anybody here. And if I don't send this to you, this nun will haunt me in eternity. But it's kind of, it's very interesting. It's a mixed bag of a lot of things for you and for me and for us. But I hope you understand that this is the nature of our life. This is the nature of our church. But more than that, this is life. Comings and goings, beginnings and endings, and starting over, and turning a page, and opening a new chapter. We could do this all the time. We don't relish it. Sometimes we're ready for it, sometimes we're not. But tell me that this is not the nature of the beast. We all got to go through this in different ways in our own lives. Endings, beginnings. They're tough, but they are also challenges to grow. I have to grow in my new life. This parish needs to grow in taking, and this is what we talked about at the pastoral council the other night, what will be the next chapter for St. Margaret Mary's Church? That will be under the leadership of Father Ken Zaccanini. Now, Father Ken was here the other day, and he cannot believe how much room he has in the rectory. He could rattle around in that house and never see Father Dan for months, because I think he's going to take the lower level, and so that, at any rate, so he's coming from a matchbox house into this. You know, there's 6 bathrooms in the rectory. I mean, it's 2 houses. I mean, it's a big house. There were, well, you know who lived there before? There were 3 priests full-time in this parish earlier on, during the period of Monsignor Honeychuck, and earlier than that. So it was built for that. But he has a truck. He drives a truck with those big wheels. It does not fit in the garage. So either they jack up the rectory, or he gets new tires. And I think that better be the better option. But that's his problem. He's got to figure that out. But he's going through this same kind of farewell at St. Barbara's in Harrison City. But he's ready to come. And I want you to be ready to welcome him and to give him the same welcoming, the same care, the same respect as we owe each other that. And this is what I would hope and pray for in Murraysville for myself. You walk in and they say, "Oh, who's this?" I must say to you that one of the challenges I will be facing at Mother of Sorrows is in the time that I have been at St. Margaret Mary's, they have had 4 pastors. There's been transition of pastors for varieties of reasons, each for different reasons, but they've been short-term. Do you realize what we've been able to do over a longer period of time? It takes time to form relationships. So they may be wondering, they may not tell me to my face, but they may be saying, "How long are you going to be here?" I'm going for the long haul. And that is my intent and that is my mission there, as it has been here. It won't be as long as here, because I will hit the magic number somewhere up there, 75 or whatever. But at any rate, if I live that long and my health is decent. But we don't know what our future is. We give it our best shot. And so that's what I would ask for your prayers for this transition, because everybody is in it and has feelings and thoughts about it. Some fears, some anxieties, some hopes, some dreams. Who knows? It's a mixed bag. But I want you to know that I will be leaving you with great gratitude. I would not, as I said, I would never have anticipated. I didn't come here to build a church I didn't know what I was coming here for. All I knew, I said, St. Margaret Mary's Church is a gold mine that needs to be worked. And I wasn't talking about your money. The talent, the goodwill, the commitment, the desire of people to grow and understand and to appreciate what faith is about is profound here, and it was here when I came. It was my privilege to stir it up and to move it another step or two down the pike. That needs to continue in the next round. Do not give that up. And do not walk out of here saying it's all over, except for the whatever. No, it isn't. It's a turn of the page. As I would be hoping that's what I will be receiving there, I would expect the same here. And know that you are mature enough, and even though we have feelings about all of these things, that we know this is our life together. Let us pray for all of those. And by the way, Father Alan Polchinski from this parish is getting his first parish in this round. He's being made the pastor of St. Thomas More Newman, the Newman Center, the university parish at IUP in Indiana. So he's coming tomorrow with the bishop. And be nice to him if you see him, by the way. He'll be the MC for the service tomorrow with the blessing of the bell tower. And I want to end with the bell tower. No, about the bell tower. You remember the old church? It didn't look like a church. It was a box. Okay. So what did we say? We need a church. All right, let's build a church. So we built a church. They said, doesn't look like a church. We need a bell tower. So we put up a bell tower. We're going to dedicate the bell tower tomorrow. A number of people said, we need a sign for this church. I said, you got a new church, you got a bell tower. Now you need a sign. We have a sign. Did you see it on Leechburg Road? It has everything but flashing lights on it. If they don't know, and if you don't know, this is a church, and this is St. Margaret Mary's Church in Lower Borough, I don't know what else to tell you. We're running out of things to identify ourselves. And we tried to develop that sign in sync with the architecture of the church so everything kind of fits. And tomorrow, with the blessing of the bell tower, really all of this piece of the project is brought to closure. The timing is rather interesting. It wasn't planned for this, but that's the way it is. Thanks so much for everything, and we have a couple weeks to kind of bury the corpse, but let's have some time to express our gratitude to God for what God giving us to each other, for the brief window of opportunity that is our life together. Let us be grateful always. Thanks.